You have a problem. Not a small problem, a massive one. Because somewhere out there, there's a person you've completely forgotten. Someone who laughed, someone who cried, someone who learned to walk, someone who learned their first words, someone who existed for years. And that person was you. For nearly 4 years of your life, you were alive. You were experiencing things, making memories, becoming who you are. But somehow, almost all of it disappeared. It's as if an entire chapter of your life never happened. So where did it go? And more importantly, if your brain erased the beginning of your story, how much of the rest of it can you really trust?
Imagine someone told you they had a hard drive filled with videos from your first birthday, your first laugh, your first steps, your first words. You'd recognize the face. You'd recognize your parents. You'd know that baby was you. But watching those videos would feel strange. Not because you forgot, but because it feels like you're watching someone else. Almost like a stranger. And that's weird. Because those years weren't short. They weren't days. They weren't weeks. They were years. Years that shaped your personality. Years that taught you language. Years that built the foundation for the person sitting here right now. And yet, you remember almost none of it.
Humans are not unusual because we forget our childhood. Humans are unusual because we remember anything at all. Most of your life is forgotten. Think about yesterday. Not the important parts. Everything. Every thought, every sound, every face you saw, every sentence you read, every second. Almost all of it is already gone. Your brain was never designed to record your life like a camera. If it did, you'd drown in information. Instead, your brain constantly deletes, keeping only what it believes matters. And apparently, being a baby wasn't important enough, at least not in a way you can access. For thousands of years, people noticed this mystery. Everyone remembered being older. No one remembered being a baby, but nobody knew why. Then scientists began studying memory, and they discovered something strange. Babies can actually form memories. In experiments, infants remember faces, recognize voices, and even learn patterns. So the problem isn't that babies can't make memories. They can. The problem is that something happens later. Those memories become locked away, almost like saving files in a format your future brain can no longer open. One reason is simple. Your brain is under construction. When you're very young, the part responsible for organizing long-term memories, the hippocampus, is still developing. But there's another problem. When you were a baby, you didn't think like you do now. You had no sense of time, no understanding of years, no inner voice explaining the world. You didn't even have words for most experiences. Imagine trying to write a book before you learned the alphabet. The experiences happened, but the language needed to organize them didn't exist yet. And as your brain changed, so did the way memories were stored, leaving those early years buried underneath newer versions of yourself.
But maybe the strangest part is this. Those forgotten years still matter, even if you can't remember them. The way you were treated, the voices you heard, the love you received, or the lack of it. All of those experiences quietly influence the person you became, like the roots of a tree hidden underground. You can't see them, but they're holding everything up. Which means some of the most important moments of your life are moments you'll never remember.
And maybe that's not a flaw, because memory isn't meant to preserve the past perfectly. It's meant to help you survive the future. Your brain isn't trying to tell your story, it's trying to keep you alive. Which means forgetting isn't a bug, it's a feature. Without forgetting, there would be no room for learning, no room for change, no room for becoming someone new. So yes, there really was another version of you. Someone you've never met, someone you'll never remember. And yet,
that forgotten child is still here, in your habits, your fears, your personality, your dreams. They may be gone from your memory, but they're not gone from you. And maybe that's the strangest thing of all. The person you know the least might be the person who made you who you are.